Hello folks, welcome back. In this tutorial, we will talk about what is a programming language. Now, what is this programming language? Programming language is the language to talk to the computers. But the computers only understand the language of zeros and one, which is also called a binary language. So computer only understands zeros and one, but as a human being, it's very hard to program with zeros and one because if I ask you how many friends you have and tell me the names, it's easy for you to tell me the names of your friends. But if I ask you what are their phone numbers, it's difficult to tell that because as a human brain, we are not that comfortable with the numbers. So they came with the concept of high-level languages. Now, this high-level languages is very similar to an English structure. It's very similar like an English kind of language which has words and sentences in it. And it's very easy for programmers to code in this high level language. But computers only understand binary language. So what they do is there's a product called assembler. You can call it as a compiler. So as a programmer, you write in the high level language, which is very easy to learn. And in using the assembler and the compiler, this particular language gets converted into the binary language. So it's a win-win situation for a programmer as well as for the computer. So what is the programming language? Programming language is just very similar to English. Just like in English, you start with alphabets, which is A to Z, and then the combination of these alphabets makes words. Combination of these words make sentences, and combination of these sentences make paragraphs. So similarly, I will divide this in the form of programming language. In programming language, the building blocks, you call them as it can be in alphabets and digits. We have special symbols. Combination of these makes variables, constants, and keywords. We will talk about variables, constants, keywords in our next tutorial. And combination of these make instructions. Instructions is like telling the computer what to do. And combination of these instructions make a program. So this is how you can relate that programming language is very similar to learning an English language. So in this course, we will be talking about Apex programming language, which is a object-oriented language. Now, what is the difference between a object-oriented language and a procedural language? So, programming language is divided into two types. One is the procedural way of writing the program, and the other one is the object-oriented way of writing the program. Now, what is this procedural way? In the procedural way, we focus on the procedures, or we can call it as functions. We call it as the functions, what they can do. In case of object-oriented language, we focus on the objects. Objects can be real-time objects like cat, dog, car. These are the real-time objects. So, and in the procedural, we talk about the functions. So, if I take an example of a dog itself is an object, and dog has different functions like he barks, he eats. So if you are writing using a procedural way of languages like C language, it's a procedural language, you will be focused on these functions. But if you're using or if you're writing in the form of an object-oriented, you will be focused on the dog object as a whole. So that's what the focus is. In the object-oriented language, we focus on the real-time objects, and on the procedural language, we focus on the functions. Since Apex is an object-oriented programming language, we will talk about real-time objects. And in our next tutorial, we will cover what are variables, what are constants, and what are keywords. Till then, thank you and stay tuned.